Hello, once more, and welcome back to the Mark and Joe's Baseball Podcast here at episode number 3. Today, episode 3, title of today's video, the predictions episode. So we'll have you our predictions for the season, right?
Yeah,
The season starting tomorrow, Thursday, the
for most te-
27th.
for most of the teams.
Most things, yeah, predictions for some things like the division winners, wildcard teams, also players we think are going to, are also our home run picks for the next 2 weeks, and the pitchers we think are going to get the most win as well, plus birthdays in baseball and baseball history as well, and more. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So only 3 segments there. We'll see how long this video goes. So some of the news we missed, if you haven't seen us over the last 2 weeks, the Dodgers beat the Cubs twice in Japan and Tokyo. Those were good games. Watching some of them on TV, and they were pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So the Dodgers won both those games in Tokyo. Really cool to see some of the highlights from there and watch some early in the morning before work, which I did. Watch about 3 innings apiece every day before work for both those games. And what else? Season starts tomorrow, the 27th of March, correct? Yes? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Joe's quiet today, right? So, what are you looking forward to the season starting tomorrow? What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to? What are you thinking about? What do you think your favorite teams are going to do this year? Anything good?
I think my favorite team's been the Blue Jays.
Do you think the Blue Jays are going to be your favorite team this year? Okay, we'll see about that. But with that being said, it's episode 3, the prediction episode. With that being said, we're going to move on here a minute to our next segment. So, yeah, let's get started. Let's have a good day. Let's have a good show. And we'll talk to you here in a few minutes. I'd like to turn it over to Joe for our baseball birthdays here this morning. Joe, who's celebrating birthday March 26, 2025?
So the birthdays on March 26th, 2025 is Josh Wilson,
Nice.
Rob Niner,
Yep, Boston Red Sox, Josh Wilson, retired player, and
then Michael A. Taylor.
that's, yeah, see on the Twins still, right? Twins? I believe it's on the Twins, right? Michael A. Taylor? That's who has been the past few years, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool for baseball birthdays. Josh Wilson, Rob Refsnyder, and Michael A. Taylor. That's nice. That's really cool. That's really cool. So, any other birthdays you'd like to give a shout out to? Anyone you know that has a birthday today? No?
No.
Okay. Well, they're your baseball birthdays for March 26, 2025. So. Okay, everyone, here is our baseball history lesson for today. On this day, March 26th, in 1976, the AL approves the purchase of the new Toronto franchise by Labatt Breweries for $7 million. So, I did not know the Blue Jays were $7 million back in 1976. I wonder what their price range is now to have the Blue Jays as a baseball team, you know?
Yeah, I did not
I
know.
wonder how much they cost nowadays with all their star players like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and every. I think he's like the only one left there,
I don't know.
and Bo Bichette. So that's what I want to know. Wonder how much they cost nowadays. I would say more than $7 million. $7 million back in 1976. That's not a lot, but it is a lot if you back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, nowadays probably worth a lot more. But I wonder if that's Canadian money. $7 million is Canadian or American money. So that's a good question. So. And now it's time for the part you've all been waiting for here today on Mark and Joe's Baseball Podcast, Episode 3, the prediction episode. It's time for our predictions. I'll start with Joe first. Give you our predictions, division winners, wildcard teams, who he thinks is going to hit a home run over the next 2 weeks, because we won't have an episode for 2 weeks after today, and who he thinks the pitcher is that's going to get the most wins in the next 2 weeks as well. Joe, over to you.
So I think the Twins are going to win the AL Central. The Blue Jays going to win the AL East. The Rangers are going to win AL West.
Rangers, wow. Good, nice
The
pick.
Brewers is going to win NL Central.
Brewers, as always.
Braves, which we're going to see.
Yeah, on our trip. Well, where else is
Yeah.
the Brewers on the trip, too?
Yeah,
In August, so we'll see.
it's going to win NL East.
Nice.
And the wild card, so NL West is the Dodgers.
Nice.
And the AL wild card,
The
Ro-
Empire.
Royals, Rays, and Angels.
Nice.
And the NL wild card, Cubs, Giants, and Phillies.
Interesting.
And then the Mike Trout for home run for the next 2 weeks.
How many do you think he's going to hit?
He's he's gonna hit maybe 3.
Maybe 3. That's nice. And pitcher you think's going to get wins?
Yamamoto.
Oh, the Dodgers, nice. Japanese. Go with the Japanese pitcher, nice. That's a fun one. That's always fun. It's a hard task to follow you up and give my predictions, I think, right now, but I'll do that. But I'm going to start different. I'm going to start with the AL Central as well. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians as the number 1 team. They won the division last year, and they always seem to know how to win. But the AL Central, over the past few years, watching the AL Central, it's like a 1-team division most of the season, except for the last year when they had 3 teams in. I'll tell you that what I think in a minute with the wildcard teams. But Cleveland's my AL Central pick. American League East, I'm going to go with the Yankees, the Evil Empire, who's won 27 World Series titles. The Yankees are the team I'm going with their kryptonite, Aaron Judge, and John Carlos Stanton. Even though Stanton's hurt right now, we'll see how that adds up. Paul Goldschmidt coming in from St. Louis. That's an interesting one, playing first base, because Anthony Rizzo's not in the picture anymore. And then for the AL West, I'm going to stick with the team that's been the AL West winner last few years. I know they had an early exit last year in the playoffs. The Houston Astros. One thing I think about Houston is this: Houston, they build on pitching, they build on young talent. Even though they lost Alex Bregman to Boston, I still think the Astros are one of those teams that are always the team to beat. I still think they make it back to postseason. I don't know if they get to the NLCS or the Division Series. So we'll see what happens to them in Houston. And the National League side, in the Central, I have the Brewers. Personally, I think the Brewers are one of those teams. They win the division the last few years, but they haven't been able to get out of the wild card round. They got beat by the Mets, and they got beat by the Diamondbacks last years. And both those teams, the Mets and Diamondbacks, Diamondbacks got to the World Series and lost in 5 to the Rangers 2 years ago. And then the Mets last year, they got to the NLCS and lost to the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens. In the National League East, I'm going to go with the Phillies as normal. Team that's won the division the last 2 years. I'm taking the Phillies again. Bryce Harper and all those young talent there. Kyle Schwarber can hit. And then out west, the National League West, I'm taking the Dodgers. The they're the new Evil Empire. They're like the New York Yankees. They keep winning their division. They've been to the World Series 4 times in the last 9 years, since 2017. They've been to the World Series 4 times, won twice, lost twice. So Dodgers are there for me in the National League West. For the wild card picks, American League, I'm going to go with Baltimore, a team that was there last year. They lost to the Royals though, but I also have the Royals in as a wild card team as well. You guys can see by the hat I'm wearing, right? The Royals hat. I have to go with the Royals as a team this year. I don't think the Royals exactly won the division in AL Central, but I think they can compete. That's what happened last year. And then the final AL wildcard team is a team that made it last year. The Detroit Tigers, who are up and coming. Last year, the Tigers made the postseason and made it to the division series. Got beat by Cleveland, so there's that. So I'm going to go with the same teams of the American League that made it last year, the same 6. For the National League wild card team, I'm taking the Cubs. Cubs didn't make it last year, but I think they get there this year. San Diego Padres, I'll take the Padres as well. As a team, they've made it the last few years. And then the Diamondbacks, they made it to the World Series just 2 years ago, 2023. I think the Diamondbacks get back into the playoffs this year after missing last year by a game. And then for my home run pick over the next 2 weeks, I'm staying in Arizona, though, in the desert. I'm going with Corbin Carroll. Because
That's a good pick, yeah.
I think Corbin Carroll, he's great at hitting, can hit home runs. And I think a 4-game series, they start a 4-game series on Thursday against the Cubs, the Diamondbacks do. So that should be a good one to see, Corbin Carroll. And then I'm going to go with his teammate, his newest teammate who came in from Baltimore, Corbin Burns, pitcher, former Cy Young Award runner with the Brewers. I think he's going to have the most wins in the next 2 weeks. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in the first 2 weeks, which those are my picks.
So you still pick Yankees or make them win the division even though they get Kurt Cole out?
Yeah, I think the Yankees will still win the division without Garrett Cole. There's no Yankees have pitching; they have a lot of young pitchers, but I think they still do it without him. And the Yankees, they're one of those teams the last few years with whoever's hurt, they step up without, and however certain they continue to win.
Yeah.
I just want to know why the Blue Jays though? Why do you have the Blue Jays now in the AL East? Their team, I think that's a few years away because I'm concerned about the Blue Jays that the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. possibly getting traded. Do you think that happens, or do you think he's still? Do you think he's still a Blue?
I think so. There.
Do you think he's still a Blue Jay by the All-Star break or trade deadline in July?
I think so.
Interesting. You think that's why you think they'll win?
Yeah.
And why do you have the Rangers?
The Rangers?
Yeah, you think they do good?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, very interesting subject lines. Comment below who you think is going to do everything. Who your division winners are. Who's going to win the wild card teams. Who's going to hit the most home runs in the next 2 weeks, and who's going to be the pitcher with the most wins. You had some interesting ones, and I think I did too. Personally,
Yeah.
That's what I think. So yeah, there are our predictions for 2025 so far. So here are our final thoughts on episode 3. Hope you all enjoyed the picks for our division winners this year, our baseball birthdays, and our baseball history on March 26th. That being said, opening day, March 27th, tomorrow, by the time you see this video on Wednesday. So as we get into it, hopefully everyone has a great 2 weeks ahead of them. Hope there's tons of baseball to watch. I'll be watching a ton of baseball, which reminds me I need to go pay to get my MLB TV subscription back for the first month of the year by Thursday. So I have a lot of that to do and more. So we hope everyone enjoys the next 2 weeks of baseball. We'll have some news. Starting in episode 4 coming up in 2 weeks, we're going to have some news headlines we'll do every week as well. We'll keep that in the intro, the first segment of each video. We'll keep the news stories in there. If there's any big news stories, we'll keep breaking news in there as well. So there you go on that.
Your team wins.
Which team? Yeah, all the teams you pick. Up all the teams that you picked win, or whoever your favorite team is.
Or your team wins, or your favorite team wins.
Yeah. So is that it? That's all you have to say, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, we're out. And please remember, watch the channel, like it, subscribe to our friends, and stay safe out there. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now, and stay safe out there. See ya.